Hey, this is the introduction to this longer podcast, and it's all about nothing to do with New Year's resolutions, doing stuff like that, but all about being able to change and set goals anytime and get them. And I've even recorded another process that I've put on my paulcloughonline.com/podcast. Go there anytime. But there's this new hypnosis process I've put along. So listen to the podcast, then have a listen to the hypnosis. And I think you'll really enjoy it. You really will. It's all about feeling and going deeper. And then when you go deeper, you'll start to understand and get the goals you want. And goals at any time. I want to encourage you to get your dreams and have the right information, the right processes right now. Things you didn't have back then, which is why maybe you didn't get them, and now you have. And you can do it with comfort. So there you go. Have a listen. If you're used to this podcast, then just skip the next couple of minutes because I'm doing another type of introduction to give you an idea what this podcast is all about, this niche of unplugged personal development. Whichever way you go, I'll see you there.
Hello, and I'm here by duty and honour of my country to warn you you're entering into the personal space of personal development unplugged, and it may seriously, yes, seriously, make your life so much better. Thank you.
Hey, my name's Paul Clough, and I'm part of, this little niche I'm creating, I hope. The niche of unplugged personal development. You see, nothing will change in your life if you don't change first. That's the rules. And in this genre of personal development, self-change, self-development, of becoming that better you, things have just been made far too complicated. Anyway, that's what I believe. I don't know why, but I've got an idea that it just makes the people who make it more complicated, make them feel better. It doesn't help us. And that's what I want to do. I want you to get your dreams, to know that whatever happened in the past was the past, and we can change our life, change who we are, back to who we really are. It's a bit like dehypnotizing, taking away all the things that don't work and find better ways. And that's why I've created this podcast, to break down these overcomplicated ways and produce and develop some really powerful but yet simple ways that will allow you to shine your light, to be who you really want to be. That's a bit way out there, but I just want you to be who you really want to be, because that's who you started off to be. And using things like hypnosis, NLP, so many more things, and for one reason only. So you can, if you choose, to come along for this adventure, to become that real you. Sing, as I say, with your real voice. Shine, be there. Turn up being you, the real you, without any trying, and break through those personal barriers. And as I said before, we're not going to fix the stuff that didn't work, because the very reason it didn't work is because it doesn't work. But we're going to find better ways. Not painful ways. There is no pain, no gain. That's tosh. We want to find pleasurable ways, passionate ways. Everything you can do to realize the opportunities to create your dreams and actualize them. Learn the skills that make it happen. All down to not creating that old you, but to find that real you. So that's why we're here. If you're up for that adventure, listen on.
Warning.
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 Warning. You are entering into the unplugged mind of Paul Clough. Too late. Personal Development Unplugged.
So it's a brand new year. And every time a brand new year comes along, we get a new year, new you. Those emails bombard you They have New Year's resolutions that come out of your ears and your backsides and all that stuff. And it really does pee me off, because I think it just doesn't work. And why should we wait till the brand new year? You know, my thought about this, the big picture of this today, is always be able to change at any time. Set your goals at any time. Move them. Have an outcome. If it comes to you today, tomorrow, that's what we're going to start with. Because think about it. Gymnasiums, you know, people join the gym at first week of January. They really look forward to it. In fact, the gyms look really forward to that first week, because they know hundreds of people are going to join the gym, and they know they're going to drop out, and they know they're going to continue paying. Now, how mad is that? How mad? You see, I know that we all have dreams, and I want you to get your dreams. I want you to have bigger dreams than you thought possible, and I want you to take the intuitive, massive action towards your dream at any time. But there are ways to do it, I think. And that's what I've been thinking about, because I was thinking about the things that I hadn't done. It's like, I'm not going to call them failures, but I haven't done the things I really wanted to do. Now, that could be for a number of reasons. One is there's other things in the way. That's an excuse, Paul. Or I wasn't in the right place at the right time, or I didn't have sufficient information at hand, so all that stuff, I just didn't have the blooming motivation to do it. Loads of things that I want to put right. Because I've been thinking over this period of time, and that's the good thing about this period of time, is it does give you space to think. And think about what I want to do, what I want to feel. What are the goals, my outcomes? And thinking about them in, call it the big picture. One of them is, I want to use more of what I know. Because I get so frustrated sometimes. I know a lot, but I don't always know that I'm using it. And I want to be more aware of using. So it means I've got to practice it more. And because I love this stuff, I'm going to enjoy practicing it. So why haven't I? We're going to come to that later. But I also want to continue learning new things, because there's a mass of information. I've been learning new things when I just look back over the last 12 months and what I've been talking to you about. They're all stuff that I've learned. A lot of it is new stuff that I've broken down or what have you back into the type of things I know or the processes that I can develop. But there were new things that sparked off new things in me. And then I started saying to myself, well, what will this all do? And it'll expand my whole experience, the richness of my experience of being here in this little old world of ours. You see, over the years, I've listened to loads of goal-setting stuff. There's goal setting, there's vision boards, there's well-thought outcomes if you're into the NLP. That's neuro-linguistic programming, and have a look at my website about that if you like. There's drawing your goals and all. I've read about so many. Then you go to just the law of attraction. But again, you still need to get that goal, that outcome in mind. And I just keep realizing that I'm not there yet. And I have to try to think, why? Now, I know probably I'll never know 100%. Now, that to me is absolutely brilliant, because it means for whatever time I have on this little world, I'll always be learning, because there'll always be something else to learn. Now, that's brilliant. And I thought this why thing, and I don't like thinking of whys sometimes, because why doesn't this work, why didn't that work? But sometimes you have to. It gives you something to think around. And I thought back, what was I doing before I did my Free Your Life of Anxiety program and your Supreme Inner Confidence programs and before paulcloughonline.com, all that stuff. What was I working on? And it's a project I was working on was about achieving your goals, funny enough. And I'd done a lot of the skeleton of it and fleshed a little bit of it out, but I hadn't done any work on it. This is all thoughts on paper, just to get a process. And what I've found out is that sometimes you need to be maybe a little bit clear. And what I mean by that is clear of some of the negative stuff in your life. So you have to do a little bit of self-work, and sometimes that can be a little bit scary, can't it? But I don't find it scary anymore when I know what it's going to lead to. So there's a wonderful pot of gold at the end of that rainbow. So just a tiny bit of clearing opens up everything. And you see, that's what it's all about for me. Because once I've done that, I can start really thinking. And I started to go back to that early project of mine, which will become a real project, I know. But what I'm trying to do now is develop it in real time. So taking some of those bits from the processes I thought about and starting to put them into fruition, but actually start doing them and notice if they worked and how well they worked, and could I improve them even more? Because there's one thing having these wonderful processes and thinking of them, but you got to walk the walk, not just talk the talk. And that's what so many people do. They just talk, and I want to walk it. And then once I've walked it, I want to share it. But I want to start about these goals and outcomes, the things that you want, the dreams, the wishes, the goals, the outcomes. But I want you to start thinking about them in a different way first, because I like to do things differently, and I like to do things simply. We all know that, because so many people give you these, they always have them, the 7 secrets to success, the secrets they don't want you to hear. Well, they're not secrets, because if they were secrets, they wouldn't know them anyway. And if they were secrets, secrets shouldn't be shown. And therefore, they're obviously not secrets. And I want to give you this new way of thinking to start off with. And it's not new way, but it's something I've come up with. And guess what? The first thing we need to do is get Jenny Journal out. Yeah, I know. But Jenny Journal, if you've seen how many Jenny Journals I have, and I'm going to explain that in another 5-minute quickie. I had a question on that. But just get even a piece of paper, a pencil, your favourite pen, a coloured crayon, something you just feel comfortable with, something that we can write down our thoughts. Because I want you to begin to think, instead of the things that you want, your dreams, your goals, your outcomes. And I really want you to get those. And I'll support you in any way I can to get there. So those failures of the past, which you maybe didn't have the resources, I want you to have those resources now to be able to get them. I want you to just go back to this one small thing. So instead of thinking what you want or how you're going to get it, the steps and everything about that, because we can do that. And we will do that in future podcasts. We're going to take what we've done and move forward. And hopefully the things I'm practicing myself will come out even more. I want you to just sit quietly. Now, what do we do when we sit quietly before we start this work? I want you to set your intention, and I want you to set your state. Now, if you go to paulcloughonline.com/podcasts, I've got a couple of hypnosis tracks there and an NLP process to be able to set your state and set your outcome. Set your intention and set your state. And you get to learn it, because once you've learned it, it will come naturally. But get your Jenny Journal, find the time. And one of the things we need to do when we find the time is to actually block it out. State a time. Put it in your diary, put it in your phone. Tell people you don't want to be disturbed just for 20 minutes or so. Because you don't have to do this for hours and hours. It's not deep work for hours. You can come back to it and do another 20 minutes if you need to, another 5, another 10. But it wants to be nice, concentrated, focus work. If you want a bit of music on, if you want it dead quiet, if you want it, whatever. Find that comfortable place. Open your Jenny Journal. Set your intention, and the intention is to find out what you want to feel in the future. That's it. How do you want to feel? Simple as that. So maybe your state is curiosity. Maybe your state might be excitement. It could be anything. Maybe it could be a state of when you've learned something important, because if you go into that state, as you start to see things, you start to learn things which are important, And this is vitally important, I believe, before you start your goals. So just big mind map, circle in the middle maybe. I like doing clouds in the middle, not circles, but that's mine. And it's, how do I want to feel in the next 12 months? In the next month? You state your own period. Now, for me, when I ask this question of people with a client, maybe I say, I know you're feeling this and this. How do you want to feel? How do you want to be? They say, well, I just want to be happy. Now, happy, it's very generic. It's so big, so unspecific. There's so many different forms of happiness. What I want you to do is go a little deeper, because this is important. And so just take some time. Now, I started to do this for myself, and I wanted to share it with you. So as I went deeper, because I'd obviously like to be happy. Of course I'd love to be happy. But that's a result of more things. So as I went deeper into the way I would like to feel, the things that I really enjoyed feeling in the past, it was something like being fulfilled by what I was doing. Maybe I then start thinking about other stuff, and then, being proud of my achievements, proud of my outcomes, proud of the things that I created. And it didn't matter how big they were. They didn't have to be big. It could be just being proud of doing this one thing. Then I thought to myself, how about being stretched? Because I want to be stretched, because if I'm not stretched, I'm not going to be learning. Maybe sometimes I want to be a little confused. Because see, when you're confused, it means you have all the information, but you just haven't put all that information in the right format. So stretched and a little confused, knowing I'm going to find something. And then I thought, excited. Now, I'm going to tell you one thing that just thinking of this, and I had thoughts about it before, I'm going to take myself out of my own comfort zone, my own familiar zone, and stretch myself, because I'm going to be coached. And I've set up a coaching session with somebody. I'm not going to tell you what type of coaching it is. It's not physical exercise and things like that, but it's going to be something slightly different, and we'll see if you notice the difference. And if you don't, I'll explain it to you later after I've been coached. But that's going to be completely different to me. Knowing, you see, that to do that I will be stretched. I'm going to be confused, but I'm excited about what the results will be, because I know they will be, and I know then I'll be proud of them, and I know that will make me more fulfilled, and that will bring me not just happiness, it will bring me joy, and it will affect every other person I ever meet, all from that one thing, that one thought. But I had to go through those feelings first, the things I wanted to feel, and there's loads more, because they were just mine that just came out of my unconscious mind onto the paper, and yours will too. So I want you to take your time and just let it happen. And if you really want to make sure that that's the way you want to feel, you can go back there and relive them. And again, paulcloughonline.com/podcast, there's hypnosis tracks to be able to relive those states. In fact, I don't know if it's hypnosis or it's NLP, but there's a process there, and you can find out how to re-experience those states again and make sure they're exactly the way you want them, and then make them even bigger, magnify the feeling. So it's so wonderful. Yeah, if I want to be excited, what will excitement be when it's 10 times excitement? What will fulfilled feel like when I'm so fulfilled? When I'm proud of what I've achieved. And not in an egotistical way, but just proud of me that we did something. I say we because it's the way I talk about myself sometimes. We. My unconscious mind, my conscious mind, every part of me, we did something that made a difference. And that's what I want you to do. When you start that, we can just be there. And I'm just looking at my notes now, because I have notes. You'll never know that I do, but I do have notes. I actually not sure if there is an NLP process that I've recorded. And if I haven't, I'm going to do one that's going to accompany this podcast. And all you have to do is to go to paulcloughonline.com/podcast, and you'll be able to have access to not only that process, but to all the other processes I've done. I'm going to put them all up there. There's at least 12 different processes already on that site. keeps the bandwidth down, and we can find them all in one place, and they're all downloadable. So it means you don't have to have Wi-Fi or anything like that. You can just download them onto whatever you want and play them whenever you want, in any place, anytime. And that to me is absolutely, well, I think that's wonderful. Well done me, I said. Well done me when I thought about that. So that's what I've been thinking about. New year, new you, eh? Well, it doesn't have to be a new year. And it won't be a new you. It'll be the real you. The real you that, we talk about trying to be authentic. Or some people talk about trying to be authentic. Well, if you try to be authentic, then you're not being authentic, are you? But being you. And this is where we start off with being you, knowing the way you want to feel, genuinely, for no other reason that it will make you feel good. Knowing that when you feel good, you'll give that energy of feeling good off to other people around you, and they'll get to feel good too. Because there's nothing worse than being in a room and someone comes in with negative energy. God, man, it just brings you down. But when someone comes in who you just know they feel good, it's like they bring light into the room. That's where I want you to be. And when you do that, everything else happens. It's like I always say, when you're like that and you start then setting your goals, your outcomes, and having the processes, and you do the clearing and all that stuff, things just seem to happen. You just seem to be that person who is always lucky. Synchronicity just happens. Coincidences just happen. And they all happen in and around you. And the whole point is you created it by doing this step first. And I think this is the step that so many people miss out. They just go, oh, I want to lose weight. Oh, I want to do this. I want to do that. No. Let's get the feeling first, and then we'll develop that feeling. And we'll do another podcast about taking those feelings and developing them into the dreams, which will become outcomes, which will become your reality. Make them happen. Bigger than you can imagine, quicker than you can imagine possible, and having more fun than you can stand doing it. That to me is absolutely the way we should go. And it's simple. All you need is a piece of paper, your own Jenny journal, a pen, a pencil. I do say write it down, because if you think about it, it goes round and round and round. You don't get that many thoughts. They don't spur or fire off new ideas because they've disappeared in your head, and you can't come back to them. Because when you come back to them, you can refine them. You can make them even more enticing, more exciting. And then we can really show you for who you really are. Wow. And that can be scary, can't it? It can be scary. But what a wonderful result of being scared. Because it's not that scary, just a little bit. Because we've maybe never been there before. Not as much as we're going. But we're going that way. If you want to, anyway. So let's have, as I always say, more fun than you can stand, playing with these simple processes, because that's what I want to develop. Simple ways that allow you to succeed in any way, any direction, any context of your life. There you go. Knowing that you can contact me whenever you want. I've got an email address on my website. I'll tell you it now. It's paul@paulclough.co.uk. Send me some notes. Send me what you feel about this if you like. Give me an idea where you want to go so I can tailor some of these podcasts, because if you want it, I can guarantee there'll be so many other people want it too, but they just didn't have that little bit to send that email. Press that return key on send. And you can all do that. It'll be great fun. It will be great fun. I'm doing it with you because I'm going back to how can I use the things that I've learned? How can I learn new things? Expand the richness of everything. Wow. I'm really looking forward to all of this, knowing, going back to that meta description we had, where we can change whenever we want. We can set goals anytime, and we can become who we really are to become whenever we want. There you go. Have so much fun. Enjoy every heartbeat. And I'll speak to you real soon. Ta-da. And before you go, and this is a different before you go, I just wanted to give you another heads up that I have another program on paulcloughonline.com. It's all about supreme inner confidence and, well, regaining your supreme inner confidence, your esteem, so you have high self-esteem, supreme inner confidence, and, well, tackle the world with that wonderful set of resources that enable you to get whatever you want. It's a 6-part program. I think it's brilliant. It's got some wonderful hypnosis tracks in there, processes that you won't find anywhere else. I think it's good. That added to the Free Your Life of Anxiety program, that's there too. There's more hypnosis tracks, creating your inner sanctuary, deep relaxation. Yeah, and there's also, here's that thing, if you go there and have a read, anyway, have a read if you would. Costs you nothing, money back guarantee on everything, and it is a sponsor, as it were, for this podcast. Have a read, and then also, once you've had a read, just put /podcast, and you can sign up to loads of free hypnosis as I do them. All the ones I talk about in the podcast, they'll come to you online anyway. Drop into your email box, and then you can collect them, and they'll be like a back catalogue. So it's all good stuff. And do remember, please do share this with as many people as you can. Your friends, your not so much friends, anybody, because they may be having issues, and we do want to help everyone, because when everyone is, well, just feeling good, the whole world feels better. And if you would, please do go to iTunes and put a nice review on there. It just helps the show going from strength to strength. That's what it's all about, isn't it? Let's grow a community for good, selfless service, and doing the best we can, creating the world we all want to live in. Anyway, that was this new sort of heads up on a ending. Okay, enjoy, have more fun than you can stand, and as usual, enjoy every heartbeat. Personal development, unplugged.